Dear respected Thai, dear beautiful, beloved community, my name is Sister Peace, and I am so happy to be here with you this morning for our first 90-minute webinar from Arise. We are going to explore a few things today, including how to awaken through race, intersectionality, and social equity. We have a panel before us of core members of Arise, and they will share their personal stories, and they will look at them through the lens of the Dharma. Looking deeply within ourselves, we'll be able to explore many aspects within us. So surely it will be that some of the experiences and insights from our core members will mirror what's happening, what has happened in many of our lives. We hope that this is a beginning of coming together for our individual and collective healing. And we also must pause and offer respect and gratitude and dedicate this webinar to our teachers, Venerable Zen Master Thich Nhat Hanh and Dr. Martin Luther King, two iconic visionaries who saw the beloved community in the same way and manifested it in their own individual way. And our dear teacher, Thai, is still doing that today. Thai, of course, is a Vietnamese Zen master, and he is the progenitor, along with Sister Chan Kong, of Plum Village. Many of you may have had the opportunity to come to some of our retreats or listen to some of our podcasts and know that the Dharma that our teacher has passed on to all of us, both monastic and lay, has been deep and wonderful. And our dear teacher Thai was a poet, or is still actually a poet, writer, peace activist, and calligraphist, just to name a few. We are deeply indebted to our teacher being the creator of something called engaged Buddhism, which is something we will be actively participating in today. Our teacher is often called Thai, which is a Vietnamese word of endearment, which means teacher. So you may hear us refer to Thich Nhat Hanh as Thai during our sharings with you today. One of the other important teachers that I mentioned was Dr. Martin Luther King. And these two wonderful incarnates of bodhisattvas met many, many years ago in the 1960s. And as a result of their meeting, Dr. King did come out against the American war in Vietnam. And Thai has often referred to Dr. King as a bodhisattva, and that all of the people of Vietnam see him that way, given the contribution and ultimately his life, not only for civil rights, but for human rights. Our teachers, both of them, were engaged in their methodologies of engaged Buddhism. While we call it engaged Buddhism, Dr. King would call it also the beloved community. And I just want to read a little something from you from Thai, which I think really sets the tone for where we all hope to go with this today and in our lives. During the war, this is something Thai wrote about engaged Buddhism. When I was in Vietnam, so many of our villages were being bombed. Along with my monastic brothers and sisters, I had to decide what to do Should we continue to practice in our monasteries? Or should we leave the meditation halls in order to help people who are suffering under the bombs? After careful reflection, we decided to do both, to go out and help people, and to do so in mindfulness. And in doing so, he founded Engage Buddhism. He said, mindfulness must be engaged. Once there is seeing, there must be acting. Otherwise, what is the use of seeing? And this has been what Thay has dedicated his life to ever since. And we're very happy, again, to be here with you and to share our stories. I'd like to now read for you the Vision and Healing Gatha for the Arise Sangha. Gatha for healing. Aware of the suffering caused by racial, systemic, and social inequities, we commit ourselves individually and as a community to understanding the roots of these inequities and to transforming this suffering into compassion, understanding, and love in action. As a global community of practitioners, we are aware of the disproportionate racial violence and oppression committed by institutions and by individuals, whether consciously or unconsciously, against African Americans, indigenous peoples, and people of color across the United States and beyond. We know that by looking deeply as individuals and as a community, we can engage the collective wisdom and energy of the Sangha to be our foundation for right thought, right speech, right action, right mindfulness, and right insight. These are the practices leading to non-discrimination, non-harming, and non-self, which heal ourselves and the world. And now I'd like to also read to you a vision statement of Arise. Arise Sangha, awakening through race, intersectionality, and social equity, is a community of mindfulness practitioners and monastics who come together to heal the wounds of racial injustice, social inequity, beginning with looking deeply within ourselves and using the energy of compassion, understanding, and love in action. As practitioners in the Plum Village tradition of Thich Nhat Hanh, we aspire to engage our global community in the work of healing through social action. We seek to nourish and protect beloved community and our Sangha and beyond. And so what I'd also like to do at this point is I'd like to explain some of the practices that we're going to use today. We realize that there are many who are not perhaps aware or familiar with it. So we're going to be doing three things, really. We're going to be using a bell. We're going to pause and we're going to breathe. And in our practice, stopping and coming back to our body through connecting our mind and our body with the breath is one of the core things that we do. So throughout, I will invite you to listen to a sound of the bell. And then just want you to relax. If you like, you can close your eyes and just become aware of your body, become aware of your breath. That is the pause to help bring us back to ourselves, to offer pause in between the interesting exchange we're sure to have today. And so, what I'd like to do is I'd like to begin that right now. And while you're listening to the bell, you may say a short gatha or verse to yourself. What I often use is listen, listen. This wonderful sound brings me back to my true home. Thank you, dear Saga, for your presence and sharing your mindful energy with us during this maiden voyage. And so now we will have approximately a 5-minute sharing by each of our Arise members. And there'll be a minute pause in between each sharing for us to return to ourselves. And so I'd like to invite Victoria to begin.